Hello everyone, welcome to DevOps for You family. My name is Rajeshwaran. So we are exploring the AWS and Terraform resources using the I have created a couple of videos. How can we create like key pair, internet gateway, VPC, subnet, security group, and route table association. So in this playlist, you can able to see, or I am strongly recommended you to go through all of these videos so that you will get an idea how can we create these resources using Terraform in AWS. Okay, so today we are going to explore what are the how can we deploy ec2 instance using Terraform. So I have just updated this ec2.tf file, and there will be nginx.sh file. Using these two files, we can able to deploy our resources in AWS, and also we need to map our security group which we created in our earlier video. Okay, I'm going to just go through this ec2.tf file, and this is the data. This one, using data we can able to refer the resources in AWS. So here what we are referring, data AWS AMI. This AMI is specific to the region, so you need to ensure that we are just getting this data specific to region. Yeah, so here I'm using AWS AMI, and this one I'm just going to get the Amazon Linux 2023, that is the Amazon Linux 3 version, and there are a lot many images like Ubuntu, Red Hat. I'm using Amazon Linux, and filter I'm using this to filter the specific AMI using the name, and the architecture also I'm filtering using this filter. And how we are going to deploy the resources by using the Terraform. So here the resource is the keyword, and this is the AWS instance using this resource reference, and this is the internal name of the EC2 instance. Count, I just hash it out because commented out. This we are going to create, or we are going to see in our upcoming videos how can we deploy more than one instance using count meta argument. So here I'm just in the AMI, there will be lot many attribute reference. These are all attribute reference. If you see AMI instance type, key name, VPC, security, there is lot many things, right? But Rajesh, how can I know all this one? Or you may know, since you are working with the Terraform and you have the knowledge, but if I don't have any knowledge in Terraform, and then how this attribute value can be remembered, or how can I refer this one? So if you go to Google and just search for AWS, this one AWS Terraform resource, you can just browse these resources. For example, I just open this one, resource AWS instance. Okay, and if you see, this is the data value that I referred for my. Here you can see this is the Ubuntu. Instead of Ubuntu, I have referred this for the Amazon Linux 3 2023 images. Okay, and here this is just a resource, and you can see AMI and instance type. But here if you see, there will be lot many attribute I have referenced. But why I have reference mode attribute? And first of all, what is this attribute? Whatever seeing here, this is called attribute, and sorry, this is called argument reference. Okay, if you go to the argument reference page here, you can able to see all the argument which I referred here. For example, AMI. So this is record, okay, and AMI I have inputted. So how I am referring, data dot AMI dot Amazon Linux 2023. So this is dot ID. We are referring this AMI within this Terraform. Okay, and availability zone, I'm not clear. This is optional, but in real time we can able to define this also, but this will based on the subnet. So we are defined here as only one subnet that I will show you here. If I go to my subnet, in the public, our target is to deploy this EC2 in the public subnet A. This is the name, right? And this is the subnet ID. And if you see, this is associated or mapped in AP South 1B in the availability zone B, because in the Singapore is a region. In Singapore we are having like 2 or 3 availability zones. Here we are, I just created this one subnet with the private and public subnets. We are going to deploy this EC2 in the availability zone 1B. Okay, and key name and security group ID, subnet reference we just saw, and we are going to this attribute reference, and tenancy is optional and host ID is optional, CP core count, these are all optional. And what are the other, this instance type is record. So wherever you are seeing record, you need to input that one. So instance type, if I go to my EC2 console, and there are lot many instance type that we can able to specify while creating the or launching the instance. If you see, right, so while creating it manually, we can able to see them. This is the instance type, right? If you just click this one, we are having these many, okay, instance type. So you can choose whatever based on, like T3 is one, like I can say the most used one, and we are having lot many instance type. Maybe I will create a separate video for the EC2 instance type. And this one is the T3.micro, that is the free instance I'm going to create, and the key name and all this attribute reference, whichever is saying, we need to specify this one. For example, this is optional, but if you are not input this one, you are not able to access the instance, because we need a private key to access the instance, right? So this is this will only know if we have the background of the little bit knowledge in the AWS, how we will connect the instance using the key pair. Okay, and if I just scroll a little down, this is also security group. Security group also we need. Maybe if you are not specifying, the default security group get attached to this one, but we are having our own custom security group, and also VPC security group ID. This is, we are using this one, and subnet ID optional. Why this is all optional? Because if you are using the AWS provided VPC and subnet, this is the optional one. But if you are creating your own VPC route table, VPC ID, or I can say public and private subnet, as we followed in our AWS Terraform series, you need to input all the optional component also. Okay, and also the main one thing is available, attach the public IP, and volume also optional. I have not, by default it will get attached to attach the volume, and the volume type also, this is GP3 volume we are going to create. And one one important attribute value, that is the associate VPC address. This is true, because this is most essential. If you are not having this attribute, there is no public IP getting associated to your EC2 instance. So we need to ensure that we are using this attribute. So we go through like this one. AMA we are offering internally using this data keyword, and followed by the instance we are using T3 micro. Key pair name, we are having the existing key pair already created, AWS key pair .dfu key name. How I am referring here, if I go to my key pair, and yeah, this is the AWS key pair underscore key pair .dfu name. So this how we can able to refer the existing key pair name, and followed by the VPC security group ID, AWS security group .dfu.sg ID. If I go to my SG again, and you can able to see this one, security group .dfu.sg.id, and associate public IP address and user data. This is a very good feature. I'm using this file, this nginx.sh. While deploying the EC2 instance, you can have the ability to deploy the nginx web page. Else after this creation, you have to manually go to your instance and you have to execute all this command, or you can create a new shell file to execute this command. But this user data, this is a very good future. We can like leverage this to deploy this web page during our ec2 deployment stage. Okay, and I am giving this name as mobile app underscore web, and also we are inputting the VPC security group ID. I think I have already explained this one. Yeah, so the key name, everything. Once this is get created, we can use the mobile extram by mapping this dfu key.aau.pem file. We can able to connect our ec2 instance. Okay, and I'm just encouraging you to like hit my website develops for you dot space to subscribe my channel. If you really like the content, I am requesting you to subscribe and forward this channel to your friends, whoever need or interested to learn DevOps like AWS, Terraform, Azure Terraform, CI/CD process, and I have lot many videos posted about this automation, all this stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching. In our upcoming video, I'll be executing the Terraform plan and everything using the existing shell file that is called terraform.sh, so that it will get, we will be deploying the ec2 instance in our AWS console. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see in our upcoming the next video. Bye.